In this video, I'll be covering the WaveTech Market Flow Indicator. This is very unique. Those of you that get the first suite, or if you're new to our environment, the WaveTech webs have been a big piece of my analysis for some time. This type of analysis is using a linear regression, and there's actually 20 regressions. They go from number 2 all the way to 21. What we're doing here is looking at the flow of the linear regressions, or otherwise, when they start to move in a direction, we can identify that they're likely to continue. And this is not a buy and sell indicator, although it does work that way. We did not build it as a strategy. There's some enhanced versions of this coming out. Right now, we're going to call this 1.0, and this is really showing you where the cash flow is and where things are happening. And there's some, but basically, if you notice, I'm going to blow this up. You'll see this directional flow that happens with these regressions. We also get a lot of crossovers and different types of pattern. Those things are going to be built in more into the logic as we go forward. We're working on that right now. But for now, what we're looking for is sustainable flow of the market, or where buyers are going to continue or sellers are going to dominate. And that's really what this indicator does really, really well. And so you can also, once again, tie this together with the entire suite using PPMs and other indicators. You might even put some of the other trading models on here as well that we're starting to release here, from the standpoint of being able to locate more opportunity and more targeted points for markets to move. And you'll see some of these targets are really good. My basic rule of thumb is once you get an entry point, that you want to put a stop just slightly below or above the sell or buy. That way you don't get into one of these runs, because it's really not designed as that. And I will go into more detail in other videos about how this indicator is going to be used. Ultimately, what we're looking to do is to make this much more sophisticated. So you can use this on any level of chart. Right now, this is on a weekly chart of the S&P. I can put it down here on a 5-minute, and it can scalp and locate different opportunities all throughout the pattern. We could go down all the way to a one minute chart here, and we're going to also ultimately recognize certain patterns that are going to be evident here. Here's a nice sell. So there's some scalping opportunities. But like I said, you make all of this very accurate by utilizing some of the other indicators, whether it's the moving averages, the algos, whatever it is that you're combining with this suite. This is just going to focus you in on that point to look for those events to happen. It's very similar in a way to a cycle event, but it's much more focused because it has a lot to do with the way that the webs are flowing and telling you which way they're going to go. A 1-minute chart we're looking at, we can go to any length, dailies, any of these different values. And what you want to do is try to tune them in as well. You can double click on this or go to the settings here. And what you can find is there's some inputs at the bottom. What this is set on right now is input 1 is set to 3. Input 2 is set to 1. Let's change those to something different. Let's make it 21. You can play with any of these numbers and the signals will start to change automatically. Let's go to 21 and 3. And that's one of my favorite settings. So 1 and 3, 21 and 3, you can really start to focus in on some markets and tune these in. So be adventurous to look at this, but ultimately I find this as a very helpful tool for trade location.